Example 2, you have triangle PQR and Q is the right angle. So your first thing you want to do is draw your right triangle. Q is the right angle, so you need to put Q there, and it doesn't matter where P and R go. Once you label your angles, then you need to think about that is side Q because it's opposite of Q. This is side P because it's opposite of P, and this is side R because it's opposite of R. And then let's label the other ones. They give me Q is 147.6, R is 72.15, and we are looking for everything else. They start by asking us to find angle P. And what they gave us was the hypotenuse and the adjacent side to P. So if we have adjacent and hypotenuse, we should use cosine to find P. Cosine of P equals the adjacent, which is 72.15, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 147.6. And then to find P, we need to do inverse of that. And you can type this all into your calculator. Make sure it's in degree mode. So you type all that in, and you get the measure of angle P is 60 degrees, 60.7 degrees. Then to find angle R, now that I know that that's 60.7, and we know this is a right triangle, we can just subtract those from 180. So I've got angle 60.7 plus 90 plus angle R equals 180 degrees. And then if you solve for that, if you go ahead and add your 90 and your 60.7 and then subtract those to the other side, you get angle R to be 29.3 degrees. And then to find side P, since we have the other two sides, we can just use Pythagorean theorem to find side P. So we have 72.15 squared, because that's one of the legs. We're looking for P squared, which is a leg, and then we set it equal to the hypotenuse squared. And then you would take the 72.15 squared, subtract it to the other side. To get rid of the square, you take the square root, and you type all that in, and you get 128.76. So at the end of these problems, you also want to make sure that you are deciding whether the answer makes sense. So if we look at our answers, we've got the biggest side should have the biggest, or the biggest angle should have the biggest side, and it does. 147 is the largest, and it's across from 90. Then we look at the angles. 60 is the next largest, so that side should be the next largest, 128. And angle R is the smallest, so that should have the smallest side. And these are all kind of similar numbers, and so the answers should make sense.